Have you ever said, "I'll do it later"? Later, I'll call my parents. Later, I'll start exercising. Later, I'll chase my dream. Later, I'll tell someone I love them. It feels like such a harmless word. Just 5 letters. Later. But sometimes, that single word costs us everything. Hi. I'm Ethan Carter. Today, I want to tell you a story, not about money, not about success, but about the most expensive word a person can ever speak. It begins with a man named Thomas. Every morning, at exactly 7 o'clock, Thomas walked the same road, the same coffee shop, the same office, the same desk. Every day looked almost identical. People admired him. He had a stable job, a comfortable house, a growing savings account. From the outside, life seemed perfect. But there was one thing. Thomas kept postponing his life. Thomas kept postponing his life, not because he was lazy, not because he didn't have dreams, but because he believed there would always be another tomorrow. Every Monday, he promised himself, "This is the week I'll finally start." But Monday became Tuesday. Tuesday became Friday, and before he realized it, another month had quietly disappeared. Thomas loved painting. Ever since he was a little boy, he dreamed of filling a small studio with colorful canvases. Sometimes, on his way home from work, he would stop outside an art store. He would look through the glass at the brushes, the paints, the empty canvases. He would smile and whisper, "Maybe next month." Then he would walk away. His father called him almost every Sunday. Their conversations were short. His father would always ask, "When are you coming home?" Thomas always answered, "Soon. I've just been busy. I'll come later." His father never complained. He simply laughed and said, "I'll be waiting." Years quietly passed. Thomas received promotions, bought a bigger house, drove a nicer car. People congratulated him. They called him successful. But every achievement came with another excuse. "I'll slow down later. I'll enjoy life later. I'll make time later." One warm afternoon, while cleaning an old drawer, Thomas found a small notebook. It was covered in dust. He slowly opened it. Inside was his own handwriting. The first page read, "Things I want to do before I turn 30. Learn to paint, travel with Dad, watch the sunrise from the mountains, write a book, plant a tree, start living." Thomas quietly looked at the date. He wasn't 30 anymore. He was 46. For a long moment, he didn't move. He simply stared at those words, not because they were impossible, but because he had forgotten that he had once written them. A few days later, his phone rang. It was a neighbor from his hometown. The voice on the other end was gentle. "I'm sorry, your father passed away this morning." The room became silent. Thomas looked at his calendar. He had planned to visit next month. He slowly sat down. His father's last words echoed in his mind. "I'll be waiting." Tears filled his eyes. Not because he had lost time, but because time had stopped waiting for him. That evening, Thomas didn't turn on the television. He didn't open his laptop. He walked into the spare room that had been empty for years. The next morning, he bought a canvas, his first one, not because he believed he could become a famous artist, but because he finally understood something. Dreams don't disappear. They simply wait. Until we stop saying, "Later." If there's someone you've been meaning to call, call them. If there's a dream you've been delaying, take the first step. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to begin. Because life rarely asks if you're ready. It simply keeps moving. And one day, the most expensive word you'll ever speak may not be failure. It may not be goodbye. It may simply be later. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who keeps saying, "I'll do it tomorrow." And if you'd like more stories that make you pause, don't forget to subscribe, because sometimes the smallest words leave the deepest scars.